Hey folks, quick disclaimer about Greasy Says, my new show about being a game developer for 15 years who's brown. Okay? Greasy Says contains explicit language, adult situations, and viewer discretion is strongly advised. Right? Greasy Says is supposed to be a comedic take on what it's like to be in the gaming industry from my perspective, but I'm not out here trying to make people feel uncomfortable just for the sake of it. So, to sum it up, I have a potty mouth. Don't let your kids listen to this shit. And kings and queens above 18 only. Let's try that. All right? Lay is.
Haha, let's get this party started.
High def with the professional.
Greasy says.
Okay. I only want to say this once. Let me make sure this is recording. Okay, yeah, we're good. Okay. So the great God, the benevolent deity that governs us all with the pure happiness and joy. This deity's name is Miyamoto. Okay, so imagine there's this deity called Miyamoto, and he comes down from the heavens one day. Every now and again, he comes down from the heavens to bless us with pure joy and childlike wonder. Things that are fleeting in life, things that disappear the moment you hit fucking like 18. Feelings that you forgot how to feel. The deity, Miyamoto, comes down from heaven and he allows us to feel these things every few years. He does this. I would say the last great, you know what? I'm not even going to fucking try to calculate when the last Miyamoto miracle was, because that don't even make sense. I'm a mere mortal. I don't fucking know shit. Okay? I'm not going to pretend that I can hang out with gods. I just realized that the recording on that was way too hot. If that was too loud, I apologize. Okay, so what was I saying? Right. The great benevolent Miyamoto came down from heaven recently and announced to the human race that there will be a Nintendo museum. If you don't know what the Nintendo museum is, pause, go search on the old Google, on the old Ask Jeeves for Nintendo museum and watch the video. It's like 14 minutes. 8 minutes. Definitely worth your time. Guys, I don't even know if I can explain. I don't know if I can express my excitement enough about this idea. The Nintendo Museum is, at first glance, you know, a historic, like a real museum. It's showing the history of Nintendo, where Nintendo started, which, by the way, I had no idea those motherfuckers used to make like board games and shit back in the days. They even made a fucking stroller back in the days. So Nintendo, you know, since like a damn near 1867 or some shit, they was making games. Okay? And the second floor of this museum is a whole history from those times all the way up to the Switch. All the consoles, all the games, the evolution of the cartridges, the evolution of their consoles, controllers, even the evolution of the fucking Mario question mark block. The one that you hit and a fucking mushroom comes out, or a fire flower, or a invincible star. The evolution of how the art design for that has changed over the decades. Because we talking 100 years, guys. Nintendo's been around for fucking ages, man. Anyway, So that's one part of the museum. Okay? That's just one part. There's another part where Miyamoto has decided to make giant video games. Like, I don't even know how to explain this. Like, okay, so he makes, I shouldn't say he because it's a team of people. This is must be a massive team of people. They've created, they, okay, let me put this in one sentence, like how I've been thinking about it. Everyone else in games is thinking about the metaverse. They're thinking about ways to keep you in your house, right? Playing with your friends online and connecting virtually and trying to improve technology in order to facilitate that need. Keep them at home, keep them comfortable, make sure connections are really good. I'm saying like internet connections. Make sure frame rates are really good. Make sure chat over IP is really good. All this shit to make you feel connected in your own home. Mr. fucking genius God being Miyamoto, probably not just him, probably a lot of other people. Let's face facts. He's just a guy. He's not a god. He's a guy. But that team at Nintendo went the complete opposite direction and was like, fuck the metaverse. Let's bring people together. Old school, like a fucking arcade. And that's essentially what half of the Nintendo Museum is. It's the new arcade. Okay, you're coming into this space with other people. He made a game where two people have to hold the Wiimote, a giant Wiimote, and like move it around. People have to physically cooperate in the same space and interact with each other in order to play this game. It is couch multiplayer taken to carnival size dimensions. It's like, it's all the great things about carnivals or amusement parks or whatever, and all the great things about video games smushed together. So you can't, like they even made a game where like you're on a giant old school Nintendo controller and one person is on the D-pad and the other person has to do B and A buttons, and him and this bitch run up a fucking thing and somehow coordinate their thinking to do the B run A jump at the end of a Mario level to grab the flag, and they do it in sync. You know how crazy that is? That is multiplayer. That is like a new definition of multiplayer. Two people controlling the same controller? Guys, this is what I consider a master stroke. Nintendo have always done what you don't expect them to do. And this is one of those things, man. They're like, fuck the metaverse. The real universe is right here. And we're going to explore personal connections in games. Real personal connections. Physical connection. We're going to bring people back together to play games at this Nintendo Museum. You know how easily they could have just been like, we're going to make a bunch of fucking cubicles and you can go play every fucking Nintendo game you want. No, they're like, this is a community space. A real community space. I'm blown away, man. I was like, I wanted to cry. I felt like a fucking child again, man. All right. So that's the genius of the idea. I don't know what it took to actually sell this idea and get people to pay for this fucking thing. Okay, I gotta take a break. I gotta drink some coffee, some of this delicious coffee from this. I go to this bakery down the street from my house, and I get bread maybe once a week. But I stopped drinking coffee. Well, I've started drinking coffee again, all because of this coffee. And I get it maybe once, maybe twice a week, depending on how hard the week is going. And they make the greatest iced coffee I've ever had. And all the ladies in there now know when I roll up, they just have my shit ready to go. They have my shit ready to go. There's one girl in particular, lady, not girl, who knows my sweetness, my flavor. She knows that shit like no one else. Like we're like practically married on some level because she gets me in a way no other person gets me. She knows the exact amount of fucking simple syrup to put in my shit. And we're gradually teaching the rest of them. You know, not everyone's not perfect. You know what I mean? But people are trying. They're learning. Okay, so is this still going? Okay, so to get motherfuckers in suits to buy onto this, of course Miyamoto has to be part of this. This has to be his brainchild, maybe, or him and somebody else who has the real ideas, and he's the spokesperson who gets buy-in from everyone, because getting buy-in for a spend this size is crazy. Since COVID, well, okay, so here's my thinking. Since COVID, commercial real estate and basically the market fell out of that shit, right? Malls are dying. Nobody fucking wants to go to a fucking store anymore. It's stupid. I'd rather have a fucking Amazon truck drop my shit off, right? Nobody wants to go to a fucking store. How do you convince a board to invest the money to buy buildings? Okay, for one, to start with just one giant building to build a Nintendo museum. When you know the cost of all that infrastructure, when you know that there's a slim chance, a slim to medium-sized chance, that people won't even go out. People might not want to go out. People might not want to go to an arcade to play games when they can play games at home. How do you convince them that this is a good idea? Only Miyamoto could probably do some shit like that. Would sell the magic of a place like that. And my thinking is like, okay, there's no way that this Nintendo museum, all right, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but there's no way there's only one Nintendo museum. They're going to open one in Japan, but like, they got to open one in the States. They got to open one in like fucking the UK or China. So this thing could expand, right? Which means Nintendo's getting into real estate, right? Because they're going to buy up these plots and like build Nintendo museums. And then Nintendo museums kind of become like an amusement park, like an attraction, like a Legoland. You know, Legolands are everywhere and you fucking go there and you play with Legos. Same idea, but Nintendoified. I guess you could have seen this coming because Nintendo partnered with Disney to make the Nintendo World. I don't know, man. It always impresses me when people go the other way than the swarm. And Nintendo is known for doing that shit. They go against the flow. And they always succeed. I fucking love it. I was supposed to go to Japan. And then me and my buddy was gonna go, planned it out, everything. And then COVID hit, and like he was down bad on the money tip. So it never happened. I'm going to Japan. I gotta go to a Nintendo museum. Or maybe I just wait until they open one in the States. I don't know. My God. I mean, I was watching that shit. My wife came up as I was watching that shit, and I just started like gushing to her. I was like, "Dude, can you believe it? This is so cool." And like, she just kind of like was like, oh, that's neat. She was very supportive, and then she kind of escaped down the stairs because I was fanboying out. But this Nintendo Museum idea is genius. I can't even put it into words. I guess I just did put it into words. Fucking idiot. Anyway, so I don't know how many people still listen to this, honestly, because I was like doing it hard for a while, and then I got busy, and then I was like, oh, I'll do it when I feel like it, and I still kind of feel that way. Like I'm just gonna do this when I feel like it. And like the people who actually care will probably still listen. I think the numbers are telling me. So I'm not really gonna be too concerned about staying regular with this shit. When the spirit moves me, I'm gonna record some shit. I got some, I think I got like a couple episodes banked that I never released. So maybe I'll release those after this one. But I just had to get something out about the Nintendo Museum. I'm blown the fuck away. Okay, wait. Before I go, what am I playing? Oh, played a bunch of shit recently. I've finished Psychonauts 2. Highly recommend it. I have a homie, ex-homie, long lost homie that worked on that. Couple of long lost homies that worked on that game. Psychonauts 2 is almost a masterpiece. The writing is masterpiece material. The music and sound, masterpiece material. The anime, it's really close. It's right under a Mario game in terms of platforming perfection. Man. So yeah, that was really good. And right now I'm playing this RPG. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't. You probably haven't. Called Sea of Stars. It's a style of a traditional JRPG, top-down pixel graphics, but beautifully animated. Like I'm saying, like on a Metal Slug level animation. Shit you dreamt about back in the days that would never happen. And surprisingly good. I think it's made by. I should check. Hold on, let me make sure. It's made by. Okay, it's made by Sabotage Studios. Sabotage Studios, whose logo looks suspiciously like a bored ape, so that freaks me out a little bit. Anyway, where are they from? These guys look like a bunch of Frenchmen. I don't know. It's a pretty small team. They don't seem to be, French. Maybe they're French. Yeah, they're Quebec. They're from Quebec. Okay, great. So Sabotage from Quebec developed it. So it has all the style of a JRPG in the presentation, but the story doesn't drag on like a JRPG. JRPGs, characters talk fucking forever and there's a million ellipses and everybody's pausing and saying each other's name and it takes fucking forever to get to anything. This game, the story just flies. Like they don't waste your time with dialogue. And the gameplay, turn-based as you'd expect, but kind of has a Paper Mario sort of gameplay element where it's turn-based, yes, but you have to do actions while you're attacking. So you have to press buttons in rhythm, or you have to carefully time when the character animation swipes to hit a person and line that button press up perfectly and you get extra damage or whatever. And you can block the same way. So it's traditional turn-based, but with some extra gameplay elements in it. It plays great, super fun. I'm digging it so far. I've put in quite a few hours, and I think I'll probably see it through to the end. So yeah, check that one out if you are so fucking inclined. I don't give a shit. Anyway, yo, thanks for listening. I'm getting the fuck out of here. How do I end this thing again? Oh yeah, Greasy people. Thanks for coming out. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, give me feedback. greasysays@gmail.com if you want to write in. And until next time, it's me, Greasy, and I'm checking out with that room key. Later.